Signal seekers, this is your wake-up call. You've been hearing it in the noise, seeing it in the static. Are you receiving the frequency? Strange lights, lost places, forgotten stories. The signal has always been there. If you can hear this transmission, you're already part of the signal. Welcome to Backwoods Signal, broadcasting from the edge of reality.
Two people, same stretch of road, 3.5 months apart, same manner of death. The sheriff's office issues a traveler's warning using caution on Jimtown Road until the investigation concludes. A normal activity, a normal conclusion. We should probably tell people to be safe. However, after the April attack, dogs were never seized or captured. The central evidence vanished. Tonight, we're going to talk about this. We're going to go over the Amber Miller case in depth. So, first of all, before Amber, on April the 1st of 2021, Tony Adirons was 52 years old. He was found dead at an intersection, specifically the intersection of Jimtown Road and Coronation Way, which was just a little bit down from where Amber was found. Lacerations over his entire body, and flesh missing from his arms. Very similar to the Amber wounds themselves. So here's an interesting connection to the Amber case. The person who was named on the incident report, Charles Owensby, lived on the same road. He owned dogs. So hold on to the information because we're going to get back to that. So that was April 1st of 2021. On the exact day that this is airing, years later. So July the 12th of that same year, 2021, Amber Miller, 29, was found at 522 Jimtown Road, asking for help. She was still alive. The witness saw, and I quote, 3 old bulldogs standing over her licking a wound. According to the coroner's report, her calf was ripped off. Her arms were barely attached. She died at the hospital. And she died not in days, but quickly. In a very short time after she got to the hospital. Now, let's talk a little bit about Amber's condition according to the autopsy. Her upper left extremity was amputated, not surgically. We're talking about from the attack itself. 42% of her skin was gone. Now, I'm going to be really clear about what I'm about to say because this was in the autopsy, but it was not the cause of death. Amber had amphetamine, methamphetamine, and fentanyl in her system. But the coroner says that she died from wounds of the attack, not the drugs. Okay. So let's talk for a minute about the person of interest here, Charles Owensby. On Facebook, he's called Charlie Dogman. Yeah. I'm not going to put a lot of stock in that name, but I found that name very interesting. There's a reason, possibly, he um, why he was called that, though, because in 2014, police report alleges that he ordered his dog to attack a man during a gas station brawl after pointing a gun in the man's face. Most of those charges were dismissed. So here's a little bit more I want to add to that, is that there were aggressive dog or an aggressive dog, not aggressive dogs, but a aggressive dog taken into custody in a raid on Charlie's place. DNA was collected from two more dogs on the property and a shallow grave containing a deceased dog. There was some more DNA taken. TBI, Tennessee Bureau of Investigations, finished the forensic testing on April 2022, a year after Amber's death. Still no charges. The investigation is listed as ongoing, waiting on bite mark evidence. I need to go back and recheck that because it may have since been closed. But if it's still open, that means that you really can't ask about it. You can't talk about it. Like the investigators, they really can't answer any questions on an open case. So it would be really convenient for that case to still be open because then it can just fade. Nobody's going to be asking questions. No new evidence is going to come out because he's just gone. Nobody's talking about it anymore. So let's talk a little bit about the physical encounter. The morning Amber was found on Jimtown Road. There were three dogs licking her wounds. And the injuries that she sustained, medical staff, they described them as severe. So we're gonna focus on a couple of things with that. If you remember in my conversation with Mike about the Amber case, he says that, and I find this to be pretty accurate myself, that dogs do not really find humans that tasty. So predation on humans from dogs is really rare. Now, Amber had 42% of her skin removed in this attack. Let that set in. There was predation in this attack. With that being said, I think it's very important for us to understand with all the things that Amber, I mean, she wasn't, the wounds were extensive enough that she died, but she lived for a period of time after the attack. I really want to kind of put that out there and hold on to that. So just to summarize, so far we have two people dead on the same road in Cocke County, Tennessee, 4 months apart, both of them mauled. Nobody was ever charged, and the man who reported The first buddy goes by Charlie Dogman on Facebook. He also reported Amber's death as well. Amber was 42% of her skin was taken off. There's no listing of how much of Tony's skin was missing, but he did have missing skin from his arms, and he had lacerations over his body. And apparently, he probably, if I had to speculate, because there's no reason given, he probably bled out. What I find really interesting is that there was the need to raid the one home, raid the yard, raid the dogs, confiscate one of the dogs. But no charges were ever made against Charlie Dogman Owensby. I really can't stress that enough, that there were no charges ever made. And usually, in most cases, there's going to be at least neglect, if not more, charges made in the case. I'm just kind of going on my notes because I don't want to miss anything here. That first attempt at making this video was so horrible. So one of the things that stuck out in my researching this was a quote from Amber's aunt. "It's hard to feel complete when you don't know. Trying to fight for her life." So the toll on the family has been great, and we understand that. And they still don't have answers. Amber's family doesn't have answers. Tony's family doesn't have answers. The road is still just a road. Two people, same stretch of ground. Nobody held responsible or accountable. And that's where the story is at. There's been a lot of speculation. Was it a dog attack? Was it a pack of dogs? We don't know. But and I want to kind of put it here. I want to like throw this statue. Here's what I want to know. You've heard most everything I have. What do you think happened out there? Was it just dogs? Was there something else going on? Drop your theory in the comments, because I want to hear from everybody on this. So I will say that it has been speculated widely on some of the podcasts that Amber and Tony succumbed to a Dogman attack. And while I'm not ready to make this a sensationalized, cryptid encounter that led to people being deceased, what I will say is that, you know, the police did not pinpoint a suspect. Charlie Owensby was not labeled. The dogs were not ever identified as the dogs in the attack that I know of. Maybe I missed something. If I did, please let me know in the comments. Um, I find this very disturbing myself, mostly because of the sensationalism, because I feel like honestly, for the most part, you know, if we don't have a mundane reason, i.e., dog attack from Charlie's dogs or other dogs in the area, you know, because there's other attacks that have been reported where it was labeled a dog attack that has some, and we're going to go over that in some future episodes coming up. The Monday episode, the Monday drop, we'll talk a little bit about the another case that was mentioned on my interview with um, Michael McKee. So, and I think I'm going to pull up the information on Corey's case next, Corey Gosby, and we're going to talk about that because there are similarities in his case as far as, you know, there were dogs in the neighborhood, uh, wild dogs that were listed as the cause of death for him, but there's still a lot of speculation about that. So, you know, I think it's very interesting that people have sensationalized this. But, you know, unfortunately, a lot of those cases, we don't have any people coming forward to answer the hard questions about what really happened. Um, I don't have any documentation to prove that this was an actual dog attack. I don't. All I have is what I've been able to find online. So it's inconclusive, but at the same time, I really am not at the point myself of saying that this is a cryptid attack. I have my ideas of what happened, but nothing conclusive, and that's where I'm at right now. So let's talk about it. Let's consider the um, the facts of this case. If I come up with something more, I'll post it either on here or on my Facebook group, and we'll go from there. Currently, though, like I said, I just haven't found anything else. Anything other than this case just went silent. So, um, I did replace this is replacing the first video I did. The recording was horrible. The editing was horrible. I did a very quick pace. And I apologize for that for those of you that saw it, all 7 of you. And look forward to the Monday drop coming up. It will have the segment on the interview I did with Mike about the Corey Gosby case. And then I will do some research on it and come back um, with some report for you for next week to kind of go and coincide with the Monday drop on that case. But until next time, I will see you behind the tree line. Keep your eyes open, your ears open, and listen for the signal.